Well, for more on that, let's bring in Behnam Taleblu, the senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies in Washington, D.C. And Behnam, Ibrahim Raisi, making his UN debut, certainly lived up to his billing as a hardline irredentist. Certainly did not sound like a man looking to make a deal with the United States.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you, Kalev. That's exactly right. The Islamic Republic has the world exactly where it wants it, which is all eyes, all attention on Iran, and all punches pulled on Iran. We hope that, or at least I hope, and some of my friends and colleagues hope, that the Biden administration turns some of its tough words today into deeds on Iran. But some may say that may be too little too late, even granting Raisi, who is sanctioned under U.S. law, a visa to come address the UN General Assembly and hold a picture of Iran's chief terrorist, Qasem Soleimani, who did the exact opposite of what Raisi said he did, who helped enslave and punish and kill thousands upon thousands of Muslims in the heartland of the Middle East. That, I think, was a strategic mistake and a moral mistake for the Biden administration to grant Raisi this platform before the international community. And I think it's one that I think will continue to resound.
Right. Also, interesting to hear him speak about Iran's human rights record, an irony, because we know there were protests today outside the UN in identification with the demonstrations going on in response to the death of a young woman there by the morality police. And even President Biden did touch on that in his speech.
That's right. You can't really draw a sharper picture of the incoherence of the Biden administration's Iran policy, at least from when it came into power until present, than the 4 or 5 days of mass protests across multiple cities in Iran, not just in the capital, Tehran, and not just in Iran's Kurdish province, where Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old Iranian woman who was killed by the morality police that you had just mentioned, Kalev. You can't really draw a sharper picture than the repression of those protests, as well as the picture of Mahsa Amini herself, which draws strong parallels to the killing of Neda Agha-Soltan during the 2009 Green Movement protests. You can't draw a sharper picture of that and then contrast it with Ibrahim Raisi at the helm of the UNGA this Wednesday. So really, it's time for a course correction with the Biden administration's Iran policy. Now is the time to put your money where your mouth is on a human rights-centric foreign policy.
Right. Very briefly, what do you think Prime Minister Lapid should say regards the Iran and the nuclear program tomorrow? Very briefly.
It's definitely time for the Biden administration to push away from the table, to act on that Plan B that it's long talked about. It's talked about a Plan B on Iran since August 2021. It's time to help multilateralize that, highlight what multilateral pressure on Iran could look like, and help talk about why a threat of a nuclear Iran is a global threat and not just a regional threat.
All right, Behnam Taleblu of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies in Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.